Hello friends and professionals, hope you are doing well and enjoying the learning of PMBOK version 7. As you are aware that we are discussing about the 12th principle that recently introduced by PMBOK version 7, and today we are specifically discussing the leadership principle. So this the sixth principle, leadership, that is very important and it's very near to my heart because I had personally felt that this is something, the principle which make or break your project delivery. In my experience, I come many times across when the leadership are define the project success, or sometimes it impact the delivery disaster risk. So let's understand the leadership principle in detail. Are you ready? Let's begin. So leadership. What do you mean by the leadership? Leadership is the quality by which you can empower your team to work together to achieve the common goal. That is the leadership. And many people get confused leadership with authority or the power. It's not right. Because I had seen many people who have the authority but don't have that leadership quality. And vice versa. Many people who have not who don't have that authority and power, but still they have leadership quality by which they encourage and motivate the team to work for common goals and objectives. And leadership is not the case where you can apply each and every life cycle of the project. Leadership is also vary from situation and based on the many parameters. Let me deep dive to the different leadership style and how you can apply. So as you seen over here, that is the leadership spectrum. The first would be the autocratic, or we call dictatorial leadership style. A good example, Hitler, where a leader dictate his terms. It's kind of my way or highway. There is no negotiation. He is not taking feedback every time from the subordinate or from the team. So it is a very rigid structure. The second leadership style, what we call laissez-faire or hands-off kind of leadership. A good example would be Warren Buffett, in which every year he assigned the target to his team and don't interfere in between. So he delegate the task, and he just needs to review after the year. So that is kind of hands-off or laissez-faire leadership style. The third leadership that we call a democratic or a servant leadership, in which a leader is provide an ecosystem to the team to achieve best of them. A good example would be the Mother Teresa and many other servant leaders. In the agile kind of things, it is required, it's demanding that we should perform a leadership of servant leadership kind, where we provide an ecosystem to the team to flourish. The fourth one, that is a transactional leadership that we call goal-oriented leadership, in which a leader either reward the team to achieve the goals, or he threaten the team if they are not able to perform. A good example, what I personally believe, that Donald Trump would be a good example of the transactional leadership. And the fourth one, that is a transformational leadership, in which we can encourage, innovate, and creatively enables the change. They are the transformational leader. A good example would be the Mahatma Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln, Nelson Mandela, and many more. They are changing the entire landscape. They are changing the mindset of the people. They are the change agent that we call the transformational leadership. So now these are the different leadership style, but I am not advocating one leadership over other. There is pros and cons of each leadership. Based on the given situation, you have to perform either of the leadership which is best suited in that given situation. If I wanted to give an example, like if you have faced the time constraint and you have to deliver the things within that time constraint, you don't have the time to deliberate and discuss and get consent from all stakeholders. At that given point of the time, autocratic or dictatorial approach would be best suited. But again, that depend on case to case and situation to situation. But these are the different modes or styles of the leadership that can be utilized. One good example of the situation leadership, that is the leadership styles that we call situation leadership models or theory, given in 1968 by the organization behavior research scientists Hersey and Blanchard, that they introduced in this model. So first they called directing. When you have a team who are very enthusiastic beginner but very low competencies and high commitment to achieve the goals, at that time you can have a directing kind of leadership where you can support less but direct them towards achieving the goal. The second example of this research model that we call coaching. So when your team have a disillusioned learner, they have some sort of competencies but having a low commitment for the goals or your target to achieve. At the time you coach them, you can support them, you can direct them, you handhold them to achieve that higher objectives or goal of the organization. The third one that we call supporting kind of structure. So it is when you have capable but cautious performers. So when you have very high competent team but they don't have that commitment to work for the goals. So what you need to do, you try to emotionally use kind of creating an environment where you can encourage them, motivate them, where you can correlate your organization objective to their life goal, and that way you can change their commitment. That is a supporting kind of role you have to play in the leadership style. And the fourth one that we call delegating. When you have self-reliant achievers, a team who have very high competency and they are high committed to the goal. So at the time, it's not required you to involve in each and every small step or do you micromanagement. At the time, it's your responsibility to delegate the task to the team and enjoy the show, means how they are performing. So that is delegation. So they have that self-confidence and you empower them to achieve the bigger and better things. So these are the situational based leadership style approach that you have to apply based on the given situation. How the role of leadership in the project management. These are the ways, means you can empowering the team, you have to show them a vision, you have to ask a kind of question, you have to listen carefully, active listening, what we call emotional questions you have to develop, emotional intelligence you have to use to interact with the team. You sometimes need to influence the team to achieve the goal, communicate regularly and frequently to understand what is the state of the mind, and strategize how you team, how together you can achieve the goal of the particular project, team building exercise, and all together is you achieve the project's success. So this is the role of leadership in the project management. What PMBOK summarized, specifically the version 7, that leadership is the way to lead the team members and the stakeholders for the common goal, to achieve the common goal. And during this, you have to get the things done from the team members, manage with respect and trust. That is most important. That is one of the ethical responsibilities, that you have to behave with respect and trust with your team member, communicate and motivate and inspire them to achieve the goals for the organization, and maintain the vision, strategy and communication of the project performance, and finally evaluate the performance of the team without any bias or any without any short of ego or bias. You have to evaluate and give the correct feedback to each and every team member so they can excel in their field. So this is the leadership style. This is the leadership principles I really like, and this is very interesting things. I hope you also enjoyed and learning this leadership principles. If you have any queries or suggestion, you can write in the comment section, and stay tuned to learn few more project management principles. Thank you very much.